2 tons of gold under 2 miles of ocean. It's a prize that's been lost since World War II, but an American adventurer has found it and says he's going to raise it from the deep, whether the Japanese like it or not. Correspondent Bob Orr has the saga of the Golden Submarine.
For 51 years, the giant Japanese submarine has rested undisturbed on the cold, dark floor of the Atlantic. Its story largely forgotten, its location never known until now.
The shadow's a little bit big.
Treasure hunter Paul Tidwell spent 5 years finding the sub, which he's convinced holds $25 million in gold. Even he can hardly believe it.
I be walking around and I say to myself, I found that. I found that sucker.
In June 1944, the submarine, longer than a football field, was carrying 2 tons of gold from Japan to Nazi-occupied France. Allied forces tracked it to the mid-Atlantic.
All this time, the American warships were right over the horizon, unnoticed by the Japanese.
A U.S. bomber launched from an aircraft carrier dropped a torpedo which zeroed in on the noise from the vessel's propeller. Remarkably, sonar buoys and a cockpit recorder captured the sounds.
The propeller. Then the explosion, and the American pilot's elation. Tidwell set sail this April with a hired Russian ship and crew. For 2 weeks, the searchers trolled 200 square miles of the Atlantic.
What are you finding in those early days?
Well, we're actually finding a lot of bottom.
With Tidwell's quest on the verge of failure, Iridian Sciences, a Navy contractor which specializes in reconstructing navigational routes, radioed a new target just 3 hours before the ship was scheduled to head home.
All of a sudden, there it is, conning tower, periscopes, the whole thing.
3 miles beneath the surface, the submarine was found upright, almost intact. There were no signs of human remains. But at sea, the treasure hunters remembered the 100 enemy sailors who died.
A Russian by the name of Valari toasted a toast to the men of this submarine. And it was very solemn, I have to tell you.
The Japanese government today claimed ownership of its long-lost submarine. But Tidwell insists the treasure is his and is planning to raise it from the deep next spring. Bob Orr, CBS News, Washington.